I have a bunch of young adult quick reads to recommend, and they're all to do with mental health, which I absolutely love. Hiya, so seeing as I've suffered from 3 mental illnesses before, I figured it was probably about time that I actually start talking mental health book recommendations. If you're new to my channel, please hit subscribe if you like mental health or feminist young adult books, because that's what it's all about. And today, we're talking mental health. First I want to talk about All Things New, which I thought was a light summer romance. So I got it from NetGalley months ago, and I was like, I don't really want to read this because I'm not in the mood for that kind of summer romance. When I actually got around to reading it, it'd been like 3 months, and I was just reading it because I was like, okay Jessica, you have to get to this book eventually. You can't just leave it there for months. So I went and I read it, and I was absolutely shocked because it turned out to be a mental health novel. It was about this girl. Actually, you know what? I went in knowing as little as you possibly could about a book. So I'm going to tell you as little as I possibly can. Basically, it's about this girl. I've already forgotten the name of her. But she goes to a party and she's like, with her boyfriend, and he's lovely. Then it turns out that she actually suffers really badly from anxiety and panic attacks. Her boyfriend is actually thinking about breaking up with her, but he won't because he's like, oh, she's too mentally unstable. What? Like, what? He won't break up with her because she's mentally unstable? She has anxiety. Like, chill, bro. She's not about to be committed to an institution. But basically, that's as much as I'm gonna tell you about it. It is a shocking, gripping, it's kind of romantic, it has a thread of romance novel that I just flew through. This Impossible Light is by Lily Myers, and I didn't even realise it when I was downloading it. I also got this from NetGalley. I was actually overwhelmed by it as soon as I started reading it. It's a free verse novel, so very poetic. It is beautiful and extraordinary, and I absolutely loved it. It's about this young girl. She's about 15, I think, and she begins to suffer from an eating disorder. So you see it developing, and it's another one of those really gripping books. And I was so annoyed at myself because it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I had to leave for work at 3:30, and I was like, why did I start this book? Because I didn't know that it was gonna be so good, and now it's amazing, and I just don't want to move off of my bed because I need to just read this. And I was reading it on the bus. I read it every spare moment I had in work. I just could not get away from it. Basically, this young girl is trying to deal with lots of different changes going on in her life. Her brother's after moving out to go to college. Her parents have separated. Her best friend is basically after getting a new best friend. She went away to Paris for the summer, and then she came back with someone else, and now she doesn't really have anything stable anymore in her life that she can rely on like she used to be able to. And now everything is different, and it's the start of a new school year. She deals with this by trying to control her eating. She exercises a lot, and she pushes herself, and she controls her weight, and you can really see how a mindset like that would develop, and you get to follow it as it progresses. So it might be a bit triggering for someone who is in the middle of recovering from an eating disorder, because you're kind of like, oh, I remember that feeling. But you know, I found it really insightful to see that from someone else's perspective and not just be looking at it from my own, because I was looking at this young girl and being like, oh god, that's so awful what she's going through. And I kind of got to relate to it and see how maybe my friends were looking at my life and being like, oh, that's so bad what Jessica's going through, like not being able to eat and getting heart palpitations when she tries to eat. And I was just like, oh no, life's grand. You know, I've been really bad in this video so far for not remembering characters' names, and for this one I will remember because the book is Nina Is Not Okay, and in case you didn't realise, the main character is named Nina. It's about this young girl who is an alcoholic, basically. She is 17, 18, and you just see how the illness and the addiction kind of manifests and grows, and how she kind of puts it off as not being a serious thing, because you know what, teenager, is an alcoholic. That's something that affects men in their 30s and 40s. You know, you never hear about young female teenage alcoholics too often. Maybe drug addicts, but not alcoholics. So it really kind of messes with her mental health, obviously, and messes with her decisions. You just see her go through so many situations where it's like, oh my god, what is she doing? And you feel horrified for this young girl as you see her make these terrible decisions, and you understand where she's coming from, but you're at the same time you're like, no, Nina, don't do it, please don't do it. And you just want to get into the book yourself and just shake her and shake the people around her and be like, will you help this girl? That's the book there. So you can see it's kind of thick. It's about an inch big, and you know, it's obviously, you would assume that quick reads are going to be small books, but that's actually pretty grand in that you just want to fly through it. It's like all the books on this list. They're not necessarily thin books, they're just ones that you need to get through ASAP to see what happens. You can't slow down, so you just fly through it. Finding Audrey is a book that I heard loads about on BookTube, to the point where I was like, this book sounds like it was just written for me. It's about a young girl, she's 14, her name is Audrey, I remembered that one, and she is suffering from anxiety. So it's a mix of comedy and recovery and romance, and it's great that it's not just about how low people get. There is that bit of recovery in there, and it is seeing someone go through that journey of getting better and not getting worse, because so many mental health books are just about someone going down to rock bottom and then hitting it and then recovering. You know, it's not just you get to see her take that first step. I think that's brilliant. And also seeing someone be affected by anxiety at such a young age and how it affects you at that life stage. Like, I developed anxiety when I was 17, so seeing someone be affected at a younger age is really interesting, and it's great to see that story shared. The last book I want to recommend is tiny. Look at the size of it, but I just wanted to recommend it because I feel like my book recommendations for quick young adult mental health reads would not be complete if I did not recommend The Perks of Being a Wallflower. I haven't even read this, to be honest, but everyone recommends it, and I just kind of felt like it would be wrong for me not to. It's about Charlie, who is not the biggest geek in high school, but he's by no means popular. That's as much as I'm going to read of the blurb, because I actually want to read that pretty soon. But you know, if you haven't read it, then you're like me, high five. Those were my young adult mental health quick read recommendations. If you've got any, please let me know in the comments section down below. And while you're scrolling down there to the comments section, please subscribe if you haven't already. I talk about mental health, feminist, young adult books all of the time. I'm really close to 300 subscribers, so just help me out there, will you? Go on down there. Yeah. So thanks very much for watching. Slán.